These are the plaintiffs, Brianna Miller and David Sparks. They say the defendants are trying to blame a water leak on them, blaming their pets for damage and refusing to return their security. Even the housing inspector agrees, but no matter what they do, they can't seem to get the defendants to pay up. So now they're suing for double their security, or $1,500. These are the defendants, Angela and Jason Crouch. They say the plaintiff's dogs and cats urinated all over the floors and walls, and it was downright disgusting. In fact, their rental agreement forbids pets of any kind, but they went ahead and had them living there anyway. They've got the pictures to prove the damages, and are in fact still owed money to pay for all the necessary repairs. They're accused of playing the blame game. The defendants have filed a countersuit for $1,736.25 for additional repairs.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
And welcome back to the People's Court. Next case on the docket, the plaintiffs say their landlords are trying to blame their pets for the dilapidated conditions in their apartment. But the defendant says the dogs and cats peed like rain. It's the case of making it rain doggy style.
Brianna Miller and David Sparks, you are suing your former landlords Angela and Jason Crouch for $1,500, double your security deposit because, according to you, they have wrongfully kept it, and Oregon law allows you to sue for double in such a circumstance. You're counterclaiming against them $1,736.25 in damages that you say occurred as a result of their negligence in watching their pets, I guess, and damaging your place. Let's hear from you first.
Okay, we signed the lease on July 2nd, 2010. Part of that was a month-to-month lease. We paid our deposits, $250 cleaning deposit that was non-refundable, and a $750 refundable deposit. Things were kind of rocky when it first started out. We had some issues with them, getting a hold of them, staying in contact with them, and we're trying to be understanding and patient about the whole situation.
Why do you need to stay in contact with them?
We had some issues with the house.
Okay.
We're kind of living in not the greatest of neighborhoods, next to a vacant house that had people living in it. And we had a door in the back that wasn't locking and heaters that weren't working at the time. So just trying to stay in contact about this. We couldn't reach them for over 30 days. So we told them in an email that we were going to have to take some action, and we did. And we called the City of Portland Bureau of Developmental Services.
Did he say why they were unreachable for 30 days?
We eventually did get a text message saying that they were getting married or had gotten married.
Okay, well, that's sort of important. Okay.
Well, and the other thing, too, was the inspector that we contacted.
From the city?
From the city.
So you had asked an inspector to come by there to do what?
To look to see what our legal standing was.
And everything
yes,
else.
exactly.
All right, so he comes in there, and what does he say?
He gave us this piece of paper.
And?
They had some violations that had nothing to do with our complaints, I guess, about it. And so he sent them a letter, and it was shortly after that we got a phone call from Angela.
Okay.
Like a message that she freaked out and was like, newsflash, you're living in my house and blah, blah. You can't call such and such authorities on me. And we do have legal right to do this. And
do you have a lease or you don't have a lease?
We do have a lease.
Okay, so then what happens?
We decide that we want to start looking for another place.
Okay.
So I think our last day there was November 28th.
So anyway, go on.
We painted one of the bedrooms a purple color. So we went back to grab the paint, and we moved our furniture out of the room, and we had noticed the water damage. And
in the purple room?
In the purple room, yes.
Okay.
Which was the bedroom I was sleeping in until I was getting headaches, and I found out later it was mold allergies. And we think water had been leaking from the outside of the house because you go outside and the siding was kind of swollen.
Did you ever take pictures of this?
I didn't take pictures of this because I didn't think this would happen.
At the same,
we have pictures of the water damage in the bedroom.
The first time we have had problems like this.
That's the purple wall?
Yes.
It's not that purple. I imagined like a really strong purple. It's more like a lilac. All right. Okay, that goes up. How far up does that go? It would look to my, just judging by the windowsill and the baseboard, that it goes up like a foot and a half?
Yeah.
And it's all along that wall.
All right, do you have pictures? Okay. Yes. Can I see the pictures? All right, so you leave, you request your security deposit, and you don't get it.
Yes.
Did they ever send you something in writing saying, we are keeping your money and here's why?
No.
No, they told you verbally?
No.
No.
They never told you anything?
No.
All right, let me hear from you, Angela and Jason Crouch, who wants to talk first.
First off, Your Honor, their phone calls. We were out of the state. We got married. Our phones, we left them at home.
Good for you.
We went and got married, enjoyed our time.
Did you leave anybody in charge of the tenancy while you were gone? Like anybody's answer?
Well, their rent normally showed up about the 15th or the 9th of the month when it's due on the 1st to the 5th. We always let them have leeway. We figured we got back, we'd take care of it. We got back. They did pay the rent that month. And then that's when we got the texts saying, you know, blah, 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 you know, over the door, and a heater not working. I said, okay. I came in, took care of the heater and the thermostats, and that's when I found a big, huge pile of dog feces on the kitchen floor and 3 cats in the house.
Okay. And did you know they were pets?
They talked to my wife and said that they were going to get a dog. They wanted a dog from the pound, the Humane Society, that they thought it was a great thing to save an animal. And I'm a pet lover myself. I have dogs. I said, great. Pay a deposit. That's what I told my wife. Make sure they pay a deposit. So you knew they were going to have that. One animal.
One, right.
And there was 4 animals in the house and chickens in the backyard without permits.
Chickens.
And, you know, initially when they moved in, they asked if they could have chickens. I said, it's state law that you have permits for those chickens. They said, we have permits. We have them. We had them where we lived before. It was all a lie.
Did they show you the permit?
They never got a permit. It was a lie the whole time.
You didn't insist on permits before?
Well, we did, and finally they moved out after the city inspectors came. Well, the city inspectors came.
Did you have chickens?
We did.
What do you have the chickens for?
Urban farming, eggs.
So go on.
So I take care of the heaters and everything. We didn't know, they didn't mention nothing about city inspectors to us. Didn't bring
Okay,
it to
I
our
understand
attention.
that most.
So the inspectors.
Hold on.
I'm sorry.
So if the lease says the landlord, the tenant can have pets, does that mean if the pets pee, that the tenant isn't responsible?
The tenant's always responsible for their pet.
And the pee?
And the pee.
What do you think?
I agree with her.
Pet and pee?
Pet and pee.
What do you think?
The landlord has already agreed that they can have pets. The tenant is obviously responsible for the pet's pee.
Say that again.
The landlord is...
No, just say pets pee.
Pets pee.
Say it again.
Pets pee.
Going inside the courtroom.
Most landlords consider it an act of war when their tenant, rather than talking to them, is talking to city inspectors. That's not a surprise. But now, here's where I am. I have you keeping a $750 security deposit. What reason do you have, under the eyes of the law, to keep their $750 security deposit?
Well, first of all, the water damage on the siding was buckled. And
How do I know that's what they were
obviously, there was a lot of water damage. You'll see in our pictures that we brought as well.
Let me see your pictures.
Right here.
Yeah, there is a lot of water damage. And usually that is consistent with a problem. Did they half paint the wall?
But see, that's what I'm trying to get at.
Did they half paint the wall?
Yes, they left it like that for us.
Your Honor, if I can may say so.
Hold on one second. We're talking about the water damage. Where do you say this water damage came from?
Well, they're animals.
Well,
they're peeing on the wall. They're peeing up the side of the wall 1.5 feet.
They had a brand new dog that they brought in from the Humane Society.
And the brand new dog pees on the wall.
Well, he was lifting his leg. I got a contractor I hired, Your Honor. I'm sorry to interrupt you.
Right.
Well, he
because I got to tell you, I'm looking at it. I understand. I'm looking at it, and that's a lot of urine.
Well, but that's what I'm trying to explain. There was a bed against that wall as well, Your Honor.
Yeah.
They had no heat in there.
Moisture.
And with mixture of animal.
Why isn't it just what it looks like, which is maybe a busted pipe on the other side of the wall?
Because that wall, there's nothing behind that wall.
Or maybe a crack that's causing the moisture to get in.
Because there's no water damage there now. And the guy tore it apart and fixed it. And like he said, it was a mixture of one thing of being, there was something against the wall with no heat. And in Oregon, it rains a lot.
So if there's something against the wall, how's a dog getting its urine back
Because
there?
what happens is the bed doesn't fill the whole wall. They don't have a triple king size bed.
Okay.
They have like a queen size.
How is
and with that against the wall, there's 2 corners.
Okay.
Their bed didn't sit in the corner at first.
How is the dog peeing all along a wall?
Well, the dog was running on the bed. The cats were on the bed. I mean, the animals were left in that room.
Does this not look unbelievable to you?
And it smells horrible until it got fixed.
It smelled horrible.
Okay.
And that's where the floor started buckling up from, was the pee.
Damage.
But there's paint all over the floors and the ceilings, purple, and they painted it in 2 bedrooms, not 1.
Yeah, no, clearly all that is true. Now let me ask you a question. I'm going to show you a picture. That's clearly water damage, right? That causes the darkness.
I even brought the pictures
that is where the animal was peeing in the corners. A leak would have went through to the bracings.
That's how I would
house.
expect dog pee damage or cat pee damage to look like. Cat pee I might give you that goes because they can spray a little higher.
Yeah.
But really this, I don't know. I'm having a little bit of difficulty. But I got to tell you, I mean, they leave the place half painted. They leave blue tape. Is the blue tape from your people?
That was from them.
They leave the blue tape all over the place. What excuse do you have for leaving that around like that?
We tried to put paint on the walls, and the walls were actually still wet because we were moving out in November. It's raining, and that's where you see like the wet spots versus the spots that had dried.
Now, you got blue tape all over the place. You didn't finish the painting job. Why didn't you just finish it since you're the one who half painted it?
Because it's wet. It was wet when I was trying to paint it.
Okay. Now, you're a realtor.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What does the law in your state require a landlord to do when they want to keep a security deposit?
Write a letter, notify them.
Within how many days?
14 days.
14?
Mm-hmm. Well, actually, in our lease right here, the month-to-month lease we signed, I wrote in there, my attorney wrote in there, within 14 days of the tenant vacating the premises, the owner.
I don't know why your attorney or you would write that, because the law doesn't even require that. The law requires 31
30,
days.
yeah.
But okay, so then, whether 14 or 31?
We agreed 14, yeah.
Okay, so did you send a letter?
I did not, because
Did you send a letter on day 32, day 31?
Well, actually, the reason why I didn't is because it said that the tenant must furnish a forwarding address to the owner. I still don't even know where they live. I
Why
have
did you
no
just send
address.
it to the last known address, because the post office would probably forwarded it to that?
Yeah, well, it's on our house. So I sent it to our house.
So why
and
did-
it didn't go.
Oh, so
and
you're
I still
saying
don't
you
know
did,
where
I'm
they.
sorry. So you're saying you did send one?
Where they
Are you
live at.
saying you sent one, or are you saying you didn't send one? Think carefully, because
Yeah, I did not send one.
Okay, yeah.
I verbally talked to them though.
So a second ago, where I thought I heard you say I did, that wasn't right?
No.
No. Okay. Good. All right. So what am I supposed to do? I'm looking at this, and I don't think any tenant has a right to leave things, leave the tape up, but without having talked to you and said, should I just paint this? What do you guys want me to do? What is going to be the plan here? And coming to some agreement. Otherwise, I got to leave it in the condition they found it in. I agree.
Right.
Okay.
Nice.
I don't know whether this is dog and cat urine, and just looking at it, I got to tell you that just doesn't strike me as dog or cat urine. But when you don't do what you're supposed to do you even leave me room to discuss these things? Yeah. When you don't send it within 14 days, like your lease, which binds you, says, or even within the 31, which the law, which binds you, says, then what do we do?
Sorry, I did get a really long list of repairs, like when they brought in the.
Guys, it's over. There's just nothing to discuss. This is black letter law. There's not even room to wiggle. You live in a state that says, if you don't send a written accounting, then you got to pay double. And meanwhile, they leave the place looking like that. Even though I don't believe the whole cat, dog, urine wall thing, I don't think that's what that is. I don't think it's been proven. They still left the place with half a purple wall, tape all over the place, and all kinds of stuff that, you might have had some, 4 pets and 2 chickens, and, you might, you were in a pretty good position to litigate it, but you lose that position when you don't do what you're supposed to do. You're a realtor. You're a realtor. Okay. Since my hands are tied by Oregon law, I find in favor of the plaintiffs in the amount of the $1,500 on your counterclaim 0. Good luck, folks.
Thank you.
Well, you should have written that letter, shouldn't you have?
Absolutely.
I mean, you know the law.
Yeah, now I do.
Now you knew
I
it
did
before.
know the law, yes.
You were just standing on the fact that they hadn't provided you with a forwarding address, right?
Absolutely.
Well, what should you have done then?
Sent a letter to our own address.
Yeah.
Right.
Verbal's not the way to go.
So you regret not doing that?
Absolutely. They destroyed our house, and they weren't the cleanest of people, and they just, did a lot of wrong things to our house, and it cost us thousands of dollars. And,
we learned our lesson.
We learned our lesson. Lesson we learned.
Thank you.
All right, right around the corner. They learned it the hard way here in the People's Court. You knew the law before you came in here? How did you do some research?
Yes, I did.
Mm-hmm. And you found out that you were entitled to double?
We
your
didn't want
security
double.
back?
We just wanted communication, and it happened to be that we got double.
You did leave the places in a mess, right? I mean, put yourself in their shoes. No?
That's their perspective.
Well, it's,
If we would have gotten a receipt of how they spent the money, we wouldn't be here, and that would be totally fine.
all right, Harvey, take it.
Okay, just FYI, the laws about security deposits vary from state to state. So to make sure you know what it is in your state, you can check online. It's usually pretty simple to research. That will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.